Now, Sports Talk with Brodes. Here's Hunter Brody.
What is going on, everyone? What a joke of a football game. I'm actually pissed off. Now, I know from a big picture standpoint, we wanted the Philadelphia Eagles to lose the football game. You would rather have the 6th overall pick than the 9th overall pick. But that was brutal. That's not what I wanted to see. That was pathetic. That describes how the organization is a failure, and that shows you the dysfunction. That was a joke, okay? And I know that when teams are out of it, they lose and they have bad players out there. But you have Jalen Hurts in position. Now, it's not like this team was rolling offensively. He was putrid passing the football, finishing with 7 of 20 with 72 yards and 1 interception. Yes, he utilized his legs. Yes, there was a lack of talent, a lack of offensive linemen. It was a terrible position to be in from a quarterback standpoint. So I know that it wasn't as if it was a gorgeous game and then they moved to Nate Sudfeld, of all people, to try and win the game. But you have a 3-point football game with someone you are trying to evaluate as maybe the future of the franchise, and you want to throw in Nate Sudfeld because he deserves an opportunity because he's been here for a handful of years. I mean, that's the crap that Doug Pederson is trying to sell us post-game. Oh, I didn't try and tank. Oh, I was trying to win the game. I just put Nate Sudfeld out there because I thought he deserved a chance and I wanted to evaluate him. Evaluate Nate Sudfeld for what? What don't you know about this clown? He stinks. He's a stiff. And I was jokingly mentioning on Twitter, you can follow me at Brodes81 for some humor, for some fun, for a nice follow. I was tweeting away, here we go, kid. Let me see what this quarterback factory's all about. His first throw rolls to the right. He's like right around in the end zone. He throws it in the dirt. Okay, what do you got next, kid? Oh, wow, that's a bomb. Oh, wow, that's 10 yards too far. Oh, wow, that's an interception. Garbage! In a winnable football game. They didn't want to win, and I know why they don't want to win the game, all right? You don't have to try and pretend like it's rocket science on why it would be good for the Eagles organization to do it. But I still want to have pride. I still want to see my team take the field with the right mindset. That's losing football. That's losers' mentality. That's a joke of a front office. And I just wonder how much Doug Pederson really had in this. Because the way that this season has gone, as much as Doug Pederson is the face of it all, and I can't stand looking at him, seriously, when he was talking post-game, I'm mother effing my television. I'm freaking out. I'm flipping the TV off just because I can't stand looking at this guy's face. But it dives deeper than this. Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie. They're probably so scared because they're so pathetic when it comes to missing out on draft picks that they need to make sure that they're in the best position possible. It irritates the living shit out of me. It really does. And then after the game, you're hearing, and Seth Joyner's not the first guy I've heard say this, he's sick and tired of drafting wide receivers. Well, you don't pass up on getting one because you've missed out so many times. You might be sick and tired of it, but that shouldn't be a reason why you skip out on a Chase or you skip out on a Devontae Smith because you've missed on so many other guys. No. So, let's pass up on this guy just because we messed up so many other picks. There's no reason to get the right one now. Why would we get the right one now? We already screwed up on 10. So let's just go in another direction. What? What am I missing here? That's an awful mentality. But why should I be surprised? Because that's what this organization is right now. That's what this franchise is right now. They have an awful mentality. By the way, we are broadcasting live from the Manscaped Man Cave. You get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. They threw the football game. All right, they did. And I know that teams do this. It's not the Eagles' fault that the NFL put them on Sunday Night Football, 8:15 prime time. If they did this at 1 o'clock, I don't think it even gets relatively close to the same outrage. The Giants win their game. They're 6-10, and they're all pissed off that Jalen Hurts is no longer in the game. You're 6-10. You're a bad football team. Shut up. And same with Washington. You're bad. That was bad. They're awful. You're telling me that you have an opportunity to win and you're in? Win a game. And you get to play in the playoffs. You get to host a game because you win your division. And that's what you produce offensively against a bunch of slop on the other side? You have Arnold out there trying to defend McLaurin. Well, that resulted in an easy touchdown. You have TJ Edwards trying to defend linebackers. Logan Thomas. Easy touchdown. But yet, somehow, some way, they give that type of effort. You know, their defense makes plays. Who ended up having it was Zach Ertz. It was a quick throw to Zach Ertz that got intercepted. Jalen Hurts was missing wide open throws, though. Quez Watkins on 4th down when they were in the red zone. He missed, was it Boston Scott, first play of the game down the right sideline? That Jalen Reagor play, that I was furious with Jalen Reagor because he should have had it. Fuller made a nice play on him to knock it out, to punch the football out as Jalen Reagor was going to the ground. And at the end, not at the end of that play, but in the middle of the game, Jalen Reagor ended up leaving and then retweeting things on Twitter while he left the game and he was ruled out with a head injury. I mean, it's bonkers what we are sitting through. See, that's another thing. That's a little tiny defining moment that tells you that this whole entire corporation is an embarrassment, and there's no way in hell that this is acceptable. Who is going to take the blame? Because when you watch Justin Jefferson do his thing, when you watch DK Metcalf do his thing, and oh, look at that, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside with a couple catches. One was in coverage, a guy on him nice and tight, and J.J. makes it. Unreal. All I could think about was his mom holding the umbrella for him in training camp. But I digress. Who is going to be held accountable? Because the guys that should be, they're not. Instead, it's Jim Schwartz. And Jim Schwartz is always going to step away and allow his contract to expire. He might retire. Get the hell out of here. I'm not falling for that bullshit. That's the Eagles trying to make it nice and easy. Hey, Jim, why don't you just say you're going to step away so there's not a lot of drama, and we'll stick with Howie and we'll stick with Doug Pederson, because reportedly that's what's going to happen. Dougie and Howie, they're safe, and they moved on from the defensive coordinator, as if that was the big problem, as if that was the major issue. No! The major issue is this roster's poorly constructed, and your offensive guru, your offensive coach, your offensive coordinator is clueless. But getting back to Jalen Reagor, right? He should have made that play. But if I'm going to keep the same goggles on that were on for Carson Wentz, Jalen Hurts threw the football not in the right area. He should have put it in a spot where Jalen Reagor didn't have to turn his hands and use his body differently. Hit him in stride. You can't have your wide receiver have to actually maneuver his body and make an adjustment. How dare you, as a quarterback, try and make that throw? So I'm just keeping it the same. I'm just keeping the energy the same. So while I'm pissed off that Jalen Reagor can't come down with that pass, he also needs to, Jalen Hurts this is, throw the football in the right area. And I get it. Look, here we go. Jalen Hurts is a rookie. Carson Wentz is in year 5. This is what the Eagles organization did to us, by the way. They split everyone right down the damn middle. From the locker room to the fan base to everybody else. Do you see the sideline videos and Jalen Hurts sitting on the bench, mouthing words, frustrated? You don't think that this resonates? You don't think that that sits in their stomachs and their bodies knowing that this organization gave up? We just heard Jason Kelce praise what it means to be a veteran and what it means to be in this league and winning football, how winning football matters, how you need to have the right mindset. And that's something that I was looking forward to heading into this game. I was the outlier. I said, go out there and compete. I want to see a team that has the right focus, that is determined the right way, that is willing to go out there and battle and live with the results. While the head coach is out here being a piece of shit. The whole entire front office being a joke. And excuse me for all the cursing, but, sometimes it's warranted. And this episode tonight, it absolutely is. When you get that slop, that garbage, it was so obvious what they were doing. You hear Al Michaels and Chris Collingsworth, they can't even keep a straight face. They can't even keep it together. At one point, I heard Al Michaels go, "What was that?" Seriously, he said, "What was that?" When Nate Sudfeld was out there trying to make a play. Did you see anything out of Nate Sudfeld that would tell you, oh, you know what, that's what I think Doug Pederson and this staff wanted to see out of him? It looked like he sucked. It looked like he was bad. So you're telling me you were questioning if maybe there was some good in there? As if you didn't know that prior? It's crazy. Now here's some of the ways that you know that this was fixed. At one point, you had no wide receiver on the field. Epps had an interception and that allowed the Eagles to be in Washington territory. They didn't really do anything with it. No field goal to tie the game up. They went on it on fourth down anyway. Punting the ball at midfield when it was fourth and reasonable. That is never, and I mean never, what Doug Pederson elects to do. Ward and Hightower, now you're throwing in trick plays. We've been screaming to utilize Greg Ward as a quarterback guy in a trick play for how many years now? And this is your time to do it. Not to say that that's the difference in being a 9-win football team, a 10-win football team, because it's not. But it's just the logic. It's so flawed. It can work and it can be something because the guy has thrown the rock before. He can throw the football. And now, in this meaningless game, that's when you elect to go down that road? It's brutal. And I mentioned the Hightower one. How about McGill jumping offsides on 4th and inches to end the game? Can you be any more serious with that? You can't be any more obvious. That was brutal. Doug not challenging the fumble. Fulgham went out of bounds. There was one of the very limited amount of times that Jalen Hurts did something in the passing game. You hit Fulgham. You roll out of the pocket. You hit Fulgham. How many yards did he have? Plenty. There was not a defender in sight. He goes out of bounds. I mean, seriously. You can't make this up, and I'm sure there's probably 15 other scenarios that I'm missing right now that even defines it more. TJ Edwards gets an interception. This defense kept you in it. It's a shame that Jim Schwartz is going to be out of here. You know me. I'm a Jim Schwartz guy. I'm a Jim Schwartzman. Be careful what you wish for, that's all. And we'll go over who could possibly come in, step in, play that role. It'll probably be in-house. It'll probably be Burke, and we'll see how they go and operate from a defensive coordinator standpoint. Whether you have talent, whether you don't have talent, majority of the times, you have a D coordinator, or at least you had a D coordinator that kept you engaged and involved in the game. This was a winnable football game. Now, the Washington football team, they stink. Alex Smith was struggling. It's not like they had plenty of playmakers just being unbelievable and being threats to this elite level against this brutal secondary. But the defense kept you in it. Washington, I don't know what to tell you. This just defines, a lot of defining here tonight, but this just defines how bad the NFC East is. As if that team, that bad Washington team, is going to host a playoff game. It's unacceptable. It really is. Now, some other things that stood out to me. How many times did you hear, kill, out of Jalen Hurts? Because I heard it a lot. And guess what was the end result? A play getting abused and blown up. Now, Matt Pryor playing left tackle, Toth playing right tackle. It's not as if you have these studs and these lethal players on your offensive line. You are slim pick'ems, and you already were, and now you're adding more to the fire. You're adding fuel to the fire. But it's not so much about how the play ended. It's how it began and how the other team sniffed it out insanely. They knew what the kill was. They knew exactly what was going to be ran, and it got blown up before it even began. It was a loss playoffs before it even occurred. And this isn't just it was a vanilla offense because Doug didn't really put a game plan together for this. No. Don't try and give me any of that nonsense. This is a standard Doug Pederson thing. You see Carson Wentz, and everyone's frustrated when Carson Wentz does it. Kill. Oh, it's probably going to be a running play. Oh, you're not going to get a lot of yards. Well, I literally watched it. This was in the red zone. Abused. Play gets destroyed. And then here you go. A couple plays later. Kill. Here's Jalen Hurts reading to see what goes on. Oh, what's that? Oh, big loss. It's terrible. It's really bad. You're going to see Howie, Doug, a new DC. And that's what they're going to give you. Here you go, guys. We're going to fix everything. Okay. Yeah, we're going to fix everything. How many times is it, we gotta fire the wide receiver coach. We gotta fire this coach. We need to fire that coach. We gotta bring in a new this coach and that coach and this coach. When do you look in the mirror? When do you look at the bigger names? Because I'm sick and tired of a new wide receiver coach. Oh, new this coach. Stop! Maybe it's the actual coaches. Maybe it's the front office. I don't think I'm going out on a limb saying it might be more than just those, I'm not going to say minor coaches, but you're not significant coaches. It's pretty incredible. Really is. I'm so disgusted. I can't believe I'm about to do this DraftKings read right now that starts with playoffs. You want to talk about playoffs? Yes, that's right. Football's playoffs start this weekend, and there's no better place to get in on all the action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. If you haven't checked out the app yet, there's no better time to sign up and start cashing in. DraftKings Sportsbook is giving all new players a deposit bonus up to $1,000 when signing up using promo code Brodes. They also have endless ways for you to bet, from live betting to betting on your favorite players. They do it all. Check out their app every day this week to cash in on their daily odds boost. New boosts are posted every single day. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code Brodes when you sign up and get up to $1,000. That's code Brodes to get a deposit bonus up to $1,000 for a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older, Pennsylvania only, in partnership with Meadows Racetrack and Casino. Bonus comprised of a first deposit bonus. Deposit bonus requires 25 times playthrough. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Insane. I really am almost lost for words, for real. I'm trying to see what else we have to discuss here because I'm so brain dead and I feel like I'm just filled with mush that it's so hard to fully embrace, and not even embrace. The word is not embrace. That's a terrible usage of the word here. It's a bad word to define where I'm at. I'm just clustered, as if that was really on display. And if you don't think that has some sort of impact on how people view Doug Pederson, and I'm talking internally, I'm talking about players that will be here for the future, because there's some guys like Zach Ertz, sadly, who you saw him sitting on the bench, and it was a very sad scene after the game, almost as if he's very understanding and he knows that, okay, this is my last go at it in a Philadelphia Eagles uniform, and it sucks that this is the way that it's going down. No fans looking at cardboard cutouts, and it wasn't my best season, right? So I'm not talking about those type of players. There's going to be guys who are in this locker room who just went through that, knowing that if things get rough, if things get sour, if you're not playing your best football and it benefits the franchise more than the guys in the locker room, they'll give up on you. They'll flat out cheat on you. They don't give a damn about you. And that's something that Doug Pederson is so big with. Locker room guy, presence is big, motivator, guys love him, guys connect to him. And maybe down the road, time will heal things all. As if new players come in, they don't look at Doug Pederson the way others do because they're new to this environment. They weren't involved in what happened this season. Like, sure, I think time will come around. For example, the people like me who are very frustrated with what they saw and the way it played out, when it comes to draft night, when they're picking 6th overall, this is background noise. Now, I am very aware, and I will stand by this, I don't accept this. And I said that prior to the game. This isn't basketball. Everyone's bringing up, well, you appreciated it with the Sixers. This isn't basketball. This is football. It's a different element. It's a different league. It's a different style. Basketball, you're stuck in that 8th seed. You need a superstar. LeBron James brings you to the NBA Finals. You get one star, Kevin Durant. You're in the NBA Finals. This is a different sport, different level of intensity, a different mindset when it comes to these players. Listen to J.J. Watt. Listen to Jason Kelsey. Those are pros. It's a different atmosphere. It's not apples to apples. It is not the same league whatsoever. So from that standpoint, when you look at this, you can't be in that locker room, looking at Doug, looking at Howie, looking at Jeffrey Lurie, being satisfied. And if you don't think that has an impact down the road with some of these players that are still going to be wearing that Eagles uniform, then I think you're going nuts. Because I know I would. I've been in a lot of locker rooms. I've had a lot of different coaches with a lot of unique, different personalities. Players, coaches, not so much players, coaches, more of hard asses that got the job done, though, and they relayed their message in a strong, powerful way where, if you didn't bust your ass, you're not playing. There's a lot of different ways to be a coach and to look in your locker room and to see and stare into everyone's eyes afterwards. There's totally different ways to do it. And I've had personal situations with certain coaches, and it all plays out to situations like this. When you don't connect with that coach because of something done. Well, you might always have this in the back of your mind. This could be something that's super foggy and muggy for the rest of the time that people see Doug Pederson. Don't rule it out. I think it would be ridiculous to just say that this plays no role whatsoever in the future of this locker room. Because if Doug Pederson doesn't have the locker room, he doesn't have a damn thing. Because I know he doesn't have a playbook. I know he doesn't know how to scheme. I know he's not good at X's and O's. This is all he has. Now, he could be the scapegoat. Internally, maybe it's different. Maybe not the clubhouse, I'm almost going baseball on you. Maybe the locker room knows this was all Howie. This was all Lurie. This isn't Doug. Maybe they know that. I find that hard to believe, though, considering the lack of communication is real. They're not the strongest when it comes to getting a message across. I'll tell you that for free. So what a crazy day over the crazy last couple of days. It was insane, drama-filled. So the Jim Schwartz news happens, although Brandon Graham had comments before the Jim Schwartz news came out, which made it seem like everybody knew, or at least he knew. I don't know. He sort of alluded to, hey, Jim Schwartz, hey, if you move on kind of thing. It was weird, and it almost somewhat laid it out for you. But I heard Seth Joyner pregame talk about Jim Schwartz, and this guy, I'm sorry. Look, there's times where I appreciate what he's saying, and I'm not acting as if he knows nothing about football because he has a lot of experience, and I think that he is intelligent. I also think he is sometimes blind to reality because he gets in such a big player mode, and he gets in such a mentality of being on the field, it dilutes what he wants to say and how he brings in information. So he's trying to make it seem like Jim Schwartz is not good, he's bad, he's too soft. This city is a blitz city, it's a pressure city. What has Jim Johnson ever won? Did Jim Johnson win anything? And that's not to say that he knew nothing about football or defense, but to act as if that's the only way to play defense. It might be your way to play defense. And then he tried to say that the only reason why Jim Schwartz was good was because the offense was so good, and it's so easy to play defense when you had the lead. Go back and do your research, bud. Go back and study things, bud. Go back and look at the defensive statistics and go back to what they brought to the table compared to the rest of the league when it comes to what the offense did back during that Super Bowl run. Don't tell me that the only reason why Jim Schwartz is successful is because Doug Pederson's offense is so explosive. That's an embarrassing take. It really is. Because you're the same damn person questioning all Doug Pederson's moves, questioning all Doug Pederson's offense, questioning the wide receivers and the inability to get open. So which one is it? That's disrespectful to Jim Schwartz and his 20-year career and his 20 years of success in this league. It really is. So shame on you, Seth Joyner. You're better than that. I know you are. But sometimes the players, it comes out of him. It comes out of Brandon Brooks as well. I respect these guys. I really do. They've been around. They know what they're talking about. But sometimes I think they go to the extreme because their hands are in the dirt and their hands are in the trenches. And that's the mentality they have, and sometimes it skews how they process information. There's just no doubt about it. All right, so Carson Wentz reportedly wants out of Philadelphia. Here's the crazy thing. I got some audio cuts that I would love to play. So this is Mort He was the one that broke the news. Broke the news on ESPN before all the games started on Sunday. This is in reference to Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz, his relationship with the Eagles is all but fractured. In fact, it is fractured. Wentz is expected to ask the Eagles for a trade. He'll help the Eagles to facilitate a trade. The reaction of Jeffrey Lurie, the owner, will be vital to this one. But right now, Wentz clearly wants out of Philadelphia and a fresh start somewhere else. That will be a big story in the offseason.
Now, this backpack's something that Adam Schefter reported a couple weeks ago, and Adam Schefter is very legit. All right, he has a lot of sources. When he writes a story, it's like when Woj reports something or when Shams reports something. There is legitimacy to it. It is a reality, okay? And then Rob Maaddi followed up because he's very close, and Rob Maaddi is from the Associated Press and 97.5 The Fanatic. He followed up. He's very close with Carson Wentz. So he's going directly to the source. He was pretty vocal about that when we had him on the Sports Bash on 97.3. So he was very open about that, going directly to the source and somewhat downplaying it. Then Adam Schefter took somewhat of a step back, and now here's Mort of ESPN going with a similar philosophy. Here's where the disconnect is. John Clark of NBC Sports Philadelphia had Chris Collingsworth on, and he had a couple different things to say about this Carson Wentz debacle. You have one state that it's fractured. You can't fix it. You're not going to be able to. Here's the Chris Collingsworth version.
Quarterback next year?
Everything I have heard so far is that they believe that Carson Wentz is fixable and that Jalen Hurts is the guy that is going to be the other quarterback. There's no way to not have two really legitimate quarterbacks. We've seen quarterbacks, Taysom Hill in New Orleans, where you have a complementary role, where you have defenses have to get ready for two guys.
Okay, now, there's a little bit more that I want to bring on when he expanded.
I think that's where we all are right now. And I do think that is the conversation in the offseason. Does Carson want to be here? Do you want to play for the Philadelphia Eagles? Because if you do, we need to fix some things. We need to change some things. And they're also probably going to go back and re-examine this offense as well. Is this offense the right offense that's built for Carson Wentz? Did we evolve and become something of the Nick Foles or the Jalen Hurts offense?
All right, so I just think it's interesting to hear a couple different perspectives on it. This is going to be one of the biggest storylines for the NFL all offseason long. And you did hear Chris Collingsworth bring up, does Carson Wentz want to be here? And from the surface, when you see the reports of, Carson Wentz wants out, he's going to demand a trade, this and that, I feel like the reaction towards him of, he's soft, he's got to battle, he's got to do this, he's got to do that, what a mental midget. All this stuff, it's so reactionary, it's so ridiculous. We can all admit that there's dysfunction in this organization. We don't know what's happening behind closed doors. We don't know who leaked this story. Was it Carson Wentz? Was it Carson Wentz's agent? Was it Howie Roseman? So maybe some people pick up the phone to take some phone calls on somebody like Carson Wentz. I mean, for it to just be so simple and you come up to a random conclusion on this is exactly what went down, I can't just say that Carson Wentz absolutely demanded a trade and absolutely doesn't want to be here. And while I might not blame him because, as I stated, this place is a nightmare, this place is a joke, it could be true. I'm not saying it's not true at all. I just don't think it's as simple as, Carson Wentz is just some mental midget who can't get over it and he needs to go elsewhere. He's not a competitor. If you don't think Carson Wentz is a competitor, really? You don't? Come on. That's where I draw the line. Have you watched the kid play? And yeah, this season's been a struggle. It's been a mess. Last two games has been a big mess for Jalen Hurts, too. And I know Jalen Hurts wasn't working with much. I'm not claiming that he had some superstar talent and he was failing. But he scored 14 points in the first half. What happened in the second half? Very common theme. Now, he only played 3 quarters, but you had the defense turning the football over. You got some chances. You were ending by the goal line. You had an opportunity to hit Quez Watkins. Your legs can only take you so far. And you see that with what's going on with Lamar Jackson, and that's been a big concern of mine for a while. His inaccuracy is just as bad as Carson Wentz was this season. And, he's a rookie. I got it. I'm with you. I don't give a damn who is the quarterback. I don't. I want to see winning football. I think if you clean everything up surrounding this football team, which is not going to be easy, it's going to be a nightmare. It's not going to happen in the blink of an eye. It's not going to happen in one offseason. But you clean up what's around you, and I think Carson Wentz plays different. I think Jalen Hurts plays different. You might have two quarterbacks that can play if everything's fixed around them. What do you do at that point? Well, I like what Chris Collinsworth said. I wouldn't be opposed if Carson Wentz is playing good football and everything else is around him and everything else is looking smooth, that you pull a Jalen Hurts, Taysom Hill concept at this point. But I don't know where they go from here. I don't know what they're going to do. There's so many different ways to do this. You question, though, if this is fractured. If this is fractured beyond fixing. Well, if you're going to keep Doug Pederson, which the reports are stating is going to happen, and there'll be a conversation between Lurie and Doug Pederson on Tuesday. If they're going to stick with Doug P., I think that opens the door for a Carson Wentz trade. I really do. But have you seen enough out of Jalen Hurts to say, this is my guy? This is who I believe in? Franchise quarterback? I don't know if I'm sold on that. Well, with that 6th pick, they wanted it that badly. Hear me out. Trade Carson Wentz. Draft a quarterback 6th overall. Why not? Quarterback factory. Why not? You can't rule that out. You're not going to be drafting high up in the 6s very often if you're here. Hey, if you're going to move on from Wentz, hey, what are you waiting for? Go get your quarterback. I'm not sold on Jalen Hurts. Now, I'm not saying he can't be a player. I'm not saying he can't grow. He absolutely can. I'm aware of that. I don't know how much this run game, where I think it's beneficial. I think it gets you first downs. When Doug Pederson is a dope, has a bad play call, things don't work, what's Jalen Hurts do? Well, he can escape, he can run, he can get you a first down. That only gets you so far. He's constantly getting shut out in second halves. He's struggling after scoring 14 points, 17 points. It's a common denominator. It's a common theme. Would that change with better pieces around him? Absolutely. Just like with Carson, if you have an actual team, Jalen Hurts will actually look better. The problem is getting that team. I think that's a problem, is getting that team. When you have Howie Roseman still in charge, who is being held accountable? The answer is nobody. And when nobody's getting held accountable, I think that's where you begin. I'll leave you with this. I retweeted this. It was from Bob from Crossing Broad. I tweeted a lot of things today. This was his tweet earlier in the day, 1:24 p.m. Regardless of what the Eagles do or don't do this offseason, Jeffrey Lurie needs to get control of his franchise. The Eagles have always been viewed as a stable organization, but the perception of it right now is as bad as it's been since buying the team. And that is flat out a reality. That is absolutely the truth, and that is where I stand. What needs to happen? Jeffrey Lurie needs to get back on track, needs to figure out this franchise. They are the laughing stock of football, worse than the Jets, because the Jets are known to be the Jets. When you are that type of team, when you are Jacksonville, you have that identity. That's who you are. You are supposed to be this way. Not here. Nope. When you get dysfunction with an organization that's not accustomed to dysfunction, it adds another layer. It adds another component. Look, we're going to be talking about this for quite some time. We really are. I need to let you know about my friends before I let you go. I already said I would let you go. Well, guess what? I lied before I let you go this time. With over 20 years of experience in the industry, Orbit Energy and Power is home to your solar experts. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. They provide water purification systems, backup energy services, battery storage, and more. So check out their information. It is all down below in the description. Thank you all so much for listening. I can't believe you sat through that game. If you did, God bless you. If you turned it off, God bless you. I wish I could. I couldn't. I felt like I was getting abused emotionally all season long, to be fair. This was just the icing on the cake. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time.